Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we created the feature to decrease product quantity in the cart and we created the place order API in our backend application. And in today's video, we will call this place order API from our Angular and we will create a new component to get the inputs related to the place order API. And after that we will create get all orders API in our backend application for the admin. So let's get started. So to create the API call, we need to go to this customer service and here we can copy this apply coupon API and we need to rename the method to place order. And after this in the params we will change the name to order DTO, and after this we need to set the user ID in the order DTO, so we can remove this constant keyword and we can paste here order DTO dot user ID. And after this we need to update the method from get to post, and here we need to add the URL for the endpoint, which is api/customer/place order. And after this we can remove this code to pass the parameters, and we can mention the request body and we can pass order DTO. Our place order API call is completed. Now let's save this file, and after this we need to create a new component where we will create the form for the place order API. So let's right click on the components folder and open it in integrated terminal. Now let's write the command to create the new component, which is ng g for generate, c for component, and we need to name this component as place order. Our place order component is ready. Now let's go to cart.component.ts file, and here in this component we need to create a new method and we can name this method as place order. And in the body of this method we need to open one mat dialog, and in that mat dialog we need to open our place order component. And to do that we can use this dot dialog and then we can call the open method and then we can pass our component name. Now let's import this component here and let's save this file. Now let's go to our cart.component.html, and here we need to use the click event of this place order button, and we can write here click and we can call a method place order which we just created on the click of this button. Now let's save this file and go to the place order component, and here we need to open the ts file. And in this component, first of all we need to create a new form and we can name this as order form. Let's import the form group here, and after the form group we need to create the constructor for this file, and in this constructor we need to inject the form builder, mat snack bar, the customer service, router, and mat dialog. Let's import all of these, and after this we will write the ng on init method, and in this method we can mention the controls for our order form, and we can use this dot form builder dot group method. And in this order form the first control we want to mention is the address, and for the by default value I am passing it as null, and for the validator I am passing validator dot required. And the second control which we need for this form is order description, and because this is an optional field so we will not pass the validators dot required. Now we will write the method to call the API, and we can name this method as place order, and in this method we need to use our customer service dot place order, and in the params of this method we can pass the value of the order form, and then we need to subscribe the response and we will write the arrow function. And here we need to write one if condition, and we will check if response.id is not equal to null, and it means our order was created, and if the response id is equals to null, then we will write the else case, and in this else case we will use the mat snack bar and we will show the message something went wrong. And if rest.id is not equal to null, then we will show the message of order placed successfully. And after this we will redirect our user to my orders page. We don't have this page right now, but we will create in the future. And the last method we need for this component is close form, and in this method we will close the mat dialog box by using close all method, and we need to call this method in this if condition as well. Our place order ts file is completed. Now let's save this file and let's go to the html file. And in this html file, first of all we will write the tag for div container, and then we will add one tag for the mat card, and in this mat card we will write another tag for the mat card title, and we will show place order, and under the mat card title tag we will write mat card content, and in this mat card content we can start our form tag, and for the name of this form we will use order form, and in this form we need to mention the controls for it, and the first control is address, so I am passing the address in the form control name, and we are using mat error tag to show the error. After the control of the address we need to mention another control for the order description, and after that we will write another div and we will give it a class of button row, and in this div we will mention two buttons, and the first button is for place order, and we will call the place order method on the click of this button. The second button is to close the dialog box, and we are calling close form method on the click of this button. Now let's save this file and let's go to the CSS file and let's paste the code for the CSS. You can pause the video and copy the CSS code, or you can write your own code. Now let's write the command to run our application. And as you can see, our application is up without any errors. Now let's go to the browser and let's validate the functionality for our place order feature. And after the logging in, we can click on this card button, and here we can see the card details. Now let's click on this place order button, and you can see a model box with the input for the address and order description. Now let's fill the random data in these fields, and let's click on this order button, and you can see we got the message order placed successfully, and you can see we are on the same cart component and we haven't got redirected to the orders component because we don't have the component right now, but we will create it in the future. Now let's go to our backend application and let's create the API to get all the orders so we can show all the orders to the admin. To create the get all orders for the admin, we can go to the services package, and in the admins package we need to create another package, and we can name this package as admin order. Now let's right click on admin order package, and here we need to create a new Java class, and we can name this class as admin order service, and this should be an interface. Now right click again on the admin package, and this time we need to name the Java class as admin order service implementation, and we need to annotate this class with @service annotation, and we need to add annotation required args constructor. Now let's write the implements statement, and here we need to mention admin order service. Now let's create the object for our order repository here, and let's import this class. And here in this class we need to create a method which will return list of order DTOs, and we can name this method as get all placed orders. Let's import this list class here. And now let's go to our order repository, and here we need to create a method which will return list of orders, and we need to write a query as find all by status in. So this method will return all the orders for the array of order statuses, and in the params we can pass a list of order status, and we can name this as order status list. Now let's import this list class here. Now let's go back to order service implementation, and here we need to create a variable of list of orders, and we can name this as order list. And now we can call our order repository dot find all by status in, and here we can use a method list dot of to convert the elements into the list, and here we need to mention the order statuses, and the first status we want is placed, and the second status we want is shipped, and the third status we want is delivered. So by calling this method we will get all the orders with the status of placed, shipped or delivered. We are not getting the order which have status of pending. Now let's import this order class here. Now let's write the return statement, and here we will use our order list dot stream method to convert this order list to order DTO, and after the stream we can use map method, and in this map method we will call get order DTO, and then we will convert it to list. Now let's copy this and let's mention it in admin service. And now let's go to the controllers package, and here in the admin package we need to create another Java class, and we can name this class as admin order controller. We need to annotate this class with @rest controller annotation, and after this annotation we need to give the annotation for request mapping, and in the URL we will pass /API/admin, and after the request mapping we will give the annotation for required args constructor. Now let's create the object for the admin service and let's import it here, and here we can write the endpoint for our get all placed order, and this method will return response entity of list of order DTO, and we can name this method as get all placed orders. And here in this method we will write return statement, and we will use response entity dot OK method, and in this method we will call our admin service dot get all placed order, and at the end we need to mention @get mapping annotation for this method, and for the URL we will pass place orders. That's it for this get all placed order API. Now let's run our application, and as you can see we got one error, and it says no property status found for the type order. And to fix this error we can go to the order repository, and here we missed a keyword of order, so we can copy it from here and we can mention it here. Now let's go to our admin order service implementation, and let's replace the method call, and let's run our application again. And as you can see our application is up on port 8080 without any errors. And that's it for this video. In the next video we will call this get all placed order from our Angular application, and we will create a component to show these orders to the admin, and after that we will create the API to change the order status.